Did the 2013 election in Kenya make a difference to the case, the Kenyatta case?
Indeed, it made a difference. It made a difference. You will recall that when my office decided to indict 6 people, both Mr. Kenyatta and his deputy were not president and deputy president. They were politicians, but you would not see them as the principals in Kenya. But after that, after the elections and they came into power, the case changed a lot. It did change a lot because now we are faced with a situation in which the persons that we have already charged before the judges of the ICC, whose cases have been confirmed before the judges of the ICC, are now the leaders in Kenya. And this made a big impact on the case. I just told you about the witnesses and the way where they find themselves now, having to give evidence against their own president and deputy president, their own leaders. So it did have an impact on the case, and with respect to the Kenyatta case specifically, we see where it is now. Unfortunately, I am not able to proceed with that case because of the nature of the evidence, and I thought as a prosecutor, and a responsible one at that, my duty and my obligation is not to go forward with the case in the state that it is now. As I have told you before, the evidence got eroded. It became not sufficient for me to expect a conviction at trial. And the responsible thing to do as a prosecutor was to pull the case, to withdraw the case for the time being. As you know, I've withdrawn it without prejudice, which means that the evidence can change. If it changes, I will be able to go back before the judges.
And what about government cooperation before 2013 election and after? Has there been a difference?
There has also been a difference. We found in the Kenya cases that the government of Kenya, unfortunately, the cooperation that we were receiving before 2013 and after 2013 is different. We have requested after 2013 for several documents like phone records, land records, tax, etc. And several excuses were given for these documents not to be given to us. In some of them, the government decided to even challenge the authority of the OTP to ask for those documents in particular. And in the end, what the judges have decided that indeed Kenya was not really cooperating with the ICC, and that lack of cooperation has in fact affected the outcome of the case. So this is the problem that we were confronted with after 2013. The government pretended to cooperate with us, and in actual fact, it was really not cooperating. And I'm saying that in the sense that it's either we request for documents and the right documents were not given to us, or we request for several documents and the full dossier of those documents are not given to us, or they take a long time before they respond to any request for assistance or documents that we requested for, or they give us the wrong documents, or they don't give us the documents at all. So these are all situations that we were confronted with in the Kenya cases and Kenya's cooperation with my office.
The judges ruled that there was non-cooperation by the government, but then did not sanction the government. What is the next step?
I have appealed that decision. I requested for leave to appeal because in the view of the Office of the Prosecutor, we thought that once the decision was made, the judges made a very clear finding that there was non-cooperation, and that non-cooperation has affected the ability of the prosecutor to go forward with the case. And for us, we assess, according to the statute, that if that happens, naturally, the judges should now refer the case to the Assembly of States Parties for them to decide on the issue of non-cooperation of the Kenya government. But unfortunately, that finding was not made for us, and I have decided to appeal that decision of the judges. It's still there. We do not know yet what the appeals chamber will decide, but I've appealed the situation.
Isn't that one of the dilemmas for the ICC, expecting cooperation from a government where its principles are a part of the government?
This is a problem. This is a reality that will happen, can happen, because if the government really decides not to cooperate, to assist the OTP to get the information that we need to carry the cases forward, they will not. If they decide to do it just to make sure that the case does not move forward, they can also do it. So for us, again, I will come back to the issue of what are the lessons that can be drawn from there. What can you do to be able to get the information that you need, maybe earlier than before or in another form? But it's a reality that this court it's a challenge that this court will have to continue to face, but look into ways of seeing how that can be resolved or how we can advance the cases without just relying solely and entirely on the cooperation of government, for instance.